boy, the one with the scar on his face, boy SkarxFace. And today we got a special guest. It's a sad story, but she's doing a lot better, and I'm glad she was able to come on just so she could share her story and help other girls or even guys that are going through a similar situation, because we may never know. I didn't know she was going through this at the time, you know what I mean? And she was telling me about it, and I'm like, wow, you know, because a lot of people just hold it in and not really say anything. So I had to bring Rod because, you know, she wanted Rod to be here, and he's an excellent co-host. What's up, Rod?
Thank you. How's it going?
But we have Kasandra on the podcast today. What's up, Kasandra?
Hi, guys.
Hey. Yeah, I remember when you were telling me about your situation, and I was pretty much mind blown, just because until you know somebody who actually went through some similar situation, you really don't know the extent that some of these things go to. And then you showing me pictures, you were showing me videos, and I'm like, wow, you know, it got pretty bad, but now you're in a whole better mindset, emotionally, you know. We postponed this actually a couple times now just because, you know,
yes,
you weren't ready to talk about it, but I'm glad you're here you're talking about it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be probably a sad podcast, but it's also going to be an inspiration.
It's important too. I think it's just important to get that kind of word out. Like you said, I mean, you don't realize when people are going through that. I've known Kasandra forever, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like
I want people to get to know you a little bit, right? So are you from Idaho?
Well, when people ask me if I'm from Idaho, I was actually born in Cali.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 3, my parents moved us to Roberts, and I grew up there until I was 20. I moved to Idaho Falls. When I was 21, I came to Denver.
Okay. And so during this time, when did you meet this guy where this all situation, was it here or was it in Denver?
So I actually, I met him here in Denver. I was about, I'm trying to think. I don't know, but it was 3 years ago I met him. I actually was married. I met my ex-husband in Idaho. We got married and moved to Denver. A couple of years after my son was born, we got divorced. And a couple of years after that, I met this guy.
So basically in the beginning, he was typical, I'm trying to
probably
get
charming, probably super kind and sweet.
So the thing about this situation and this kind of man, he was unlike anybody I had dated before. After my divorce, you know, I did date a couple of guys. I met, I wasn't in any serious relationship, but he was different from those in the sense that it was like a dream come true. We met downtown. I saw him in line while we're getting it. It's almost like a movie or like a music video. I saw him in line while we were going into a club. We connected, we exchanged information, and it was like he was the man of my dreams. He was handsome. He was charming. Even when I saw him in the club, girls were looking at him, and he was, you know, looking at me. And then on top of him being charming and everything, he was this exotic guy because he's European. He's actually Turkish. And I was like, oh, damn, let me get to know him. And it just made it all the more exciting. But it also it's what I guess attracted me to him more, and eventually made it harder to leave.
Okay, so you guys started talking, you guys started maybe dating, going out and things like that, right? Did you ever get was there ever a red flag before it was oh, he did this, but nah, I'll forget about it?
So with again, with this type of situation, it is very, very gradual, and because I truly believe this from my, I guess self-research. It's part of my healing was to find out why he was the way he was. It wasn't a typical, oh, this guy's a douchebag and he treats me bad, but he's still somewhat normal. No, he has what I believe is narcissistic personality disorder. It's a actual psychological disorder. Men and women can get treated for it. It's pretty crazy. And with him, him being the perfect guy, the guy I always wanted. He charmed me, made me fall in love with him. Like, we spent, as soon as we started dating, we spent 24/7 together. He would stay at my place. He had me meet his family very quickly. He would tell me things, which should have been a red flag, but he would tell me things like, "You're not like my ex. You're so much sweeter. You're a good person. I'm so glad I found you. I'm so glad to be loved by you." So when the abuse did, it was very sneaky. It was very small things, and it wasn't abusive at first. It was, one of the things I noticed about him is he was very grandiose. He was very full of himself, and he would make little comments here and there, even about his own friends, his own family. And then eventually it turned into me. And the abuse, it was small things at first. He would get angry and break things. Like, he would, and I would note it, but I would be like, "No, well, like, we're gonna work on it. It's fine." I know I should have got away. That should have been it. But it was just so small that I would just let go. I would just let it go. And by time that, dime.
So would he do like little things like that to you, and then apologize right after? So you would be like, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
he didn't mean it."
And so
Yeah,
it got you into
absolutely.
that
He would
frame, huh?
apologize, and then
Just got you into
and
that
then he
frame of
would go
thinking that
back
it's
to,
okay. It's okay to be mad, and you just let it go, let shit slide.
yeah, exactly. And like I said, it didn't start with physical. It started with little things. He would break things, and then he would apologize, and he would go back to the, "Oh, you're nothing like my ex. You're an angel to me. I need you in my life, and I'm sorry for treating you this way. I'm gonna do better." Like,
So
that's
when
what he would say.
when was this, like, how long into you guys dating did this, like, little things start happening?
So another red flag and another huge thing with narcissists and this kind of situation is they will move in very quickly. He moved in with me within like 2 weeks of us dating. He started breaking things maybe 2 months into us dating.
Damn.
Like, it was,
That's
yeah,
quick.
it was quick. And just I would just let it go. And the abuse started maybe a couple of months after that. And
And
like I said, it wasn't like full on beatings yet.
okay, so it was mainly like more of like emotional abuse, you know, like telling you
Exactly.
things, breaking things, and then would you feel like it was your fault at the time? That you,
I felt like, oh, if I hadn't pushed, I wouldn't push him. I'm not the type of girl to be like, get in your face. Oh, like, can I curse?
yeah.
I wouldn't be like, bitch, like, or motherfucker. Like, I would never speak to him that way. My issue and where I felt like I had fault is I was very emotional. Another part of when we met, I was going through a really rough time. I had roommates with me who weren't helping me with things. I had just gotten my divorce a couple of years prior, and I was still dealing with that. And so I was very emotional. And I told him, I've seen a therapist. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have PTSD due to a family event that had happened. And so I was very emotional. And when he would start to fight with me, I would get very emotional and I would cry. And he would tell me, calm the fuck down. You're triggered. Like, what would he say? Stop fucking crying. Stop fucking crying. I'm not even being mean to you. And it would progress. And after the situation would happen, I would think to myself, like, oh, if I could have kept myself calm, I could have calmed him down.
Like I said, you would think it was your fault. So like it's different living in that situation, because some people are like, well, why didn't you just leave? You know, it's really not that hard, or it's really actually pretty hard, because at the time when you're in it, it feels differently.
It's just confusing. You start even if you don't exactly think that it's your fault, you start saying, well, maybe if I hadn't done this, or maybe it was my fault. Maybe he's right. Maybe I should calm the fuck down, even though he's not right.
Yeah.
But you start thinking that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know people think that. I know people are like, and people told me, why didn't you just walk away at the first sign? But what they don't understand is that when you get involved with a person like this, unfortunately, I was the perfect victim. I had my emotional shit going on. I had my problems. He loved on me. Like he made it like like I said before, like we were a perfect couple. And then he would just it's so hard and it's so intricate. There's so much behind it. There's so much manipulation. And another thing that would happen that made it very difficult to leave was these type of people, narcissists, they make it so that you doubt yourself. They not only do you doubt yourself, you doubt your own sanity. And it's one of the most cruelest things that they do to you, because he would do things to me that make me doubt myself and therefore let go of what he had just done. I sent Edgar a video, and where it was a situation where a pair of keys were lost.
Oh yeah.
And he lost the keys. He hid the keys. He had the keys in his coat pocket. I actually ended up finding it, but it turned into a whole argument of where these keys were. And it was just him using that so that I would doubt myself, and therefore he could get away with things. And when we would have arguments or situations afterwards, he'd be like, well, you said this, you did this to me. If you didn't do this to me or said this to me. And I would be like, wait, I don't recall saying that. And then he would be so persistent with it. I'd be like, oh shit, maybe I did say something. Maybe I did push him, or maybe I did do something to cause him to explode even more. And therefore it's my fault. And therefore I just let that situation go.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play. I don't think you're gonna be able to hear it, but I want people to hear just a little bit of what he was doing. Hold on, so.
What's being rude? You go and fucking eat. What's being rude? Right now I'm rude. You go eat. No, I'm just trying to explain because you tell me, hey, last time I remember you take the key. I didn't take your fucking key.
I didn't say.
I didn't take your own fucking key.
I didn't say
You lost the key.
I'm telling you.
Okay, you lost something. So you lost the key, then you come to that person and you tell, hey, last time I remember it was with you, means you lost the key. I didn't touch your fucking G key. I didn't touch this key. Yeah, both of the keys. Okay? So you lost it. It's not my problem. You lost it.
So basically, on that little clip, you mentioned it earlier that you had hit the key, or what happened with the keys?
So what had happened is I had just got a new vehicle, and there's 2 sets of keys. And I asked him, well, because he drove it. I asked him, like, where'd you put the key? And I didn't even ask him, like, rudely. And he told me, oh, I don't know. And I was like, but you had the key. And then, that set him off. And that's when he starts going off. And he's like, no, you had the key. And I would try to, like, reason with him. You can hear me trying to reason with him. And eventually I just collapse under his persistence. Like, you can hear him persistent, like, you had the key. And I was like, okay, I'm not saying you had the key. And like I said, it was just a manipulation tactic. So I would doubt myself. And after that, after I stopped recording, I actually grabbed his jacket and I put my hand in it, and I just looked at him and he just looked at me.
And
sorry?
No, and the key was in there.
The key was in there.
Oh, wow.
And he had that jacket on. And after he took it off, I went and I put my hand inside of it.
And did he say anything after that, or he just
Nope.
blew it off?
We literally locked eyes and then just walked away.
And just pretended like nothing happened. See, I think what that really shows is the kind of person these people prey on is someone like you, someone that's gonna just not gonna say much, not gonna be too outspoken, because that's some other outspoken woman's gonna be like, look, you dumb motherfucker, there's the keys. It's gonna turn into another thing. But he knew he's not gonna fuck with that kind of girl. He's gonna fuck with someone like you who he knows isn't that outspoken. And he's not going to do that to someone that's going to fucking bark back at him.
That's why I say I feel like, I hate to say it this way, but I felt like the perfect prey.
Yeah.
So during this time, like, so I want people to get to know, because you know how people will be like, oh, you should have just left, which is the most common thing. Like, yeah, you should have just left. How were you, like, feeling during those times? Were you blaming yourself? Were you like, oh, it'll get better? Or like, what's going on through your head?
There was so much entanglement. Another thing that happened with us is, which made it harder. So we have the whole part where he made me feel like, oh, we're meant to be. He literally made me feel like we were soulmates. Like I literally felt like I had found my person because he made it so great in the beginning. And a couple months into us dating, we got into a car accident. I telling this story, I know you're gonna hear it and be like, you should have left then, but it has a lot to do with it, and it has a lot to do with him making me feel guilty and me staying also. I was driving his car and we got into an argument because I was gonna break up with him and I was taking him home to his house, to his family's house. And he was yelling, he started to yell at me. It was raining, it was dark, and at one point he started to put his hands on the wheel. Mind you, this is his car. And at one point we came to a stop sign. I didn't see the stop sign. I didn't stop in time and we ended up wrecking. I totaled his car and I kind of wrecked into a police officer. It was a police sheriff.
Oh, dang.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. Yes. So that was my first car accident. When it happened, his family showed up and they were like, they didn't blame me. They were actually really nice about it. And we're like, we're so sorry. We'll help you with any legal stuff. And he ended up getting taken away by the police for a completely different reason. And which is actually like crazy. That's a story in itself. But after that, he went to jail for a couple of days and he came out and he showed up at my house and he cried to me. He literally fell into my arms and cried to me and was like, you didn't deserve that. You're the best thing to ever happen to me. And this guy, the thing about my ex is he's a big bodybuilder, muscle, like, and to see him cry like that and tell me like, again, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. You're better than my ex. You're an angel. I'm going to make it up to you. We're going to make this life together. And the car accident was a continuous tool throughout the relationship. And it turned into a guilt trip to me because he didn't have a car. And he would tell me, well, we need to get me a new car. I don't have a car because of you. And so that guilt was also what made me, or I don't know how you would say it, stay in the relationship, because not only was I in love with this man, I felt that I needed to help him for what I had done, even though it was his fault.
Mm-hmm. So would he use this like throughout your relationship too? Like, oh, you owe me a car, or like, remember what you did to me? Like you.
Yes.
Damn.
That's pretty.
Yeah, and I forgot to send that audio to you.
Oh,
I forgot to send that audio to you. I have him. There's an audio and where he tells me that it was in a moment of anger too, and he told me that he was gonna fuck me up for taking his car. And I also had a fear of him and his family because I just heard of like legal shit he would get into with his ex, and I knew he got out of it, and I assumed his family helped him. His family, his sister in particular, is not wealthy, very well off. They have a very beautiful home. They own a very successful business in Denver, and they're pretty well-known people. So when he would go off and tell me, well, you fucked up my car, I'm gonna see you in court, it would scare me. Mm-hmm. It would scare me. And then after that, he would turn into the charming man that I loved. And I'm sorry, you know what, I'm gonna get my car. Once I get my car, I'm gonna work and I'm gonna make everything up to you, and I'm gonna give you everything you deserve.
So, and then that would put you in the whole in that mindset, like, oh, he's gonna change, he's gonna do better.
Absolutely.
So, when did the actual physical abuse come into play?
So the actual physical abuse came into play. The earliest memory I have of it. Well, let me back up. So we would get into arguments, and he would grab me a little too hard, or he would shove me a little too hard. And that's when I got little scratches, little bruises, like the pictures I sent you. Yeah. And after that would happen, I'm glad I had enough sense to take pictures and record everything. But after that would happen, I would think to myself, well, it's not so bad. And then the guilt of, oh, maybe I pushed him too hard. Or he would say that I pushed him too hard. And I would think, oh, I probably did that to him too. Okay, then it's okay. Then it's okay. It would justify it. The actual first time he hit me, full on hit me, we were both drinking, and that's also why I let it go. And I don't remember what exactly he said that set me off, but I do remember yelling or something back to where it progressed. And then finally I remember he slapped me. It was a slap. It started with a slap. And I remember just sitting there frozen, like, oh my God, what just happened? And after it happened, we just stood quiet. We went home and we went to bed. Like, we just let it go. And the next day I went to look for marks, and I had some bruising on the side of my mouth, but I justified it. We were both drinking. I got out of hand. It's fine. And then he, of course, turned on his charm, and we're going to work on this, and let's just let it go. And it progressed. I was that girl who was like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's not going to get worse. But it did progress.
How far along into the relationship was that the first time that he slapped you?
It was the winter. So we started dating in the summer. So I would say about 5-6 months.
Dang.
That's quick.
Yeah, that's really quick. So you said you're going to justify it to the alcohol, okay? You know, like, we've all drank.
Yeah,
we've all
like,
gotten mad.
we were fucked up. It's no big deal.
Did you ever, in your previous relationships, ever get abused, like physically?
No. This is why I think it was so hard with this relationship, was it was so new to me. Abuse was so new that I didn't know the signs. We as women, we grow up hearing about stuff, and in our minds, we form this bad guy in our head. And if we see this bad guy, then, oh, we know this is abuse, run away. In my prior relationships, I had no experience with this type of manipulation or abuse. So I think that's what made it a lot harder to leave.
So that was an open hand slap, right? So when did it start getting worse to the point where it was like closed fist?
Closed fist. I don't remember what caused the first closed fist hit. I do remember that it was after that video I sent you where you can see my apartment was destroyed.
Do you remember what set that off? Like,
I'm thinking, and it had to have been either I took his phone and was trying to see if he was talking to other girls, or I was trying to leave my apartment because an argument would ensue. Because a lot of my physical abuse came from situations where I was trying to leave. I was trying to leave. I was trying to call the police. So it had to have been one of those situations. Like, I can't remember exactly the first time he full on punched me, but I do know that it was in the face. I ended up getting a black eye, and yeah, like
how did
just really hard to talk about. I mean,
yeah. It makes sense.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was showing Rod pictures of your black eyes, and in some pictures, both your eyes were black. So,
yeah.
Like, what are you thinking at that time? Like, what I mean by that is, like, did you feel like you deserved to get hit, or like, what's going on through your head?
I knew I did it. I knew it was wrong, which is why I took pictures. And this is something I want to tell anybody in a situation now. If you feel like your relationship is off now, please take pictures, document how you're feeling. I actually have videos of myself talking to myself, and I'm just going over like what I'm feeling in the moment. And because I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. I just was so in love with this guy and so trying to fix it. The relationship was me trying to fix it, that I don't know. I couldn't let go. I knew I didn't deserve it. I documented it not only to remind myself, but in case any legal action was to be taken in the future, to protect myself. That's also what I did. And I'm so glad I documented everything, because after our breakup, and this is another part of narcissistic abuse and relationships with narcissistic abuse, is there's a whole turmoil after you break up with the person. There's a whole process after you break up with the person. And part of that process is missing, wondering what you could have done better, just like in the relationship. And me looking back to those photos, listening to myself talk. I also journaled. Looking at all that, I realized, okay, I don't want that again. And later on in the relationship, towards the end of the relationship, I would look at the photos and be like, no, this isn't going to stop. Look at how already it's progressing.
Yeah. So what made you like? Was it after a few times getting abused? You were like, I'm gonna start taking pictures. Like I'm gonna start recording. Because some people, like you said, they don't even start doing that.
Ever do it? Yeah.
As soon as it started to become a really big issue, as far as the bruises went, I started recording as soon, or taking pictures as soon as they were visible.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to kind of see, as soon as it became notable. And when I would have the recordings of myself talking to myself, it was because I was so emotionally drained, or so emotionally just, I needed some sort of outlet. I couldn't call my family because I didn't want to worry them. My family actually is barely learning about this. My little brother was the first one I really like opened up to, because him and me are really close. And my friends, like, they knew something was going on, but I felt like I disappointed them. I let them down. I felt like they're tired of hearing me complain about him. They're tired of watching me cry. I felt that way. I know that they didn't, but that's how I felt, and that's how he made me feel. And since I had no outlet, I would just like talk to myself.
Yeah. So what? I know you said you told your brother first a little bit what was going on. What was his initial reaction?
So a little backstory. My little brother actually lived with me when my ex moved in with me. So he actually met him.
Mm-hmm.
And he moved back to Idaho, and I showed him the pictures. He never liked them. We would talk about him. He's like, oh, that motherfucker and stuff like that. But when I finally opened up about the actual abuse, I showed him the pictures, and he started to cry.
Dang.
And my little brother's 23, and it's like seeing him cry, like, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like I know my little sister at the time too. Before she met Gio. Gio, he's an awesome guy, like amazing. I love him. But her ex before that, she wouldn't tell me exactly everything that was going on. But then when she did, like she would always be like, it sucks because like you can't do any. I'm like, just leave, you know, like that's our initial reaction. But you have to realize like there's a lot more holding your back. And then like I'm pretty sure it was tough at first trying to mention like what was going on, you know. So because I know a lot of people are going to say right now, well, as soon as you documented, I was going to bring this up to you, as soon as you started documenting, why didn't you go and tell somebody and report it?
I was hoping so bad that he would change. I was hoping so bad. And then another manipulation tactic or thing that went along with this is that me and him would travel, or we would go to concerts, we would go to shows. He was the one that introduced me to the raving scene. We went to EDC, my first EDC together, and we would we surrounded our relationship, our fixing up relationships to these events.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, okay, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna go to Vegas together. Like, and after Vegas, everything's gonna get so much better. We're gonna treat each other better. We're gonna do better. And it also made it so hard because we had those special memories together. It made it so hard to let go.
So
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, and then when I would document it, I didn't do it with my first intention being, oh, I'm gonna get his ass, he's gonna go to jail. It was more for me, because another thing about me and this relationship is I couldn't hurt him the way he hurt me. I couldn't lash, because this is my personality. Like, if I love you like more than you love yourself, and I am gonna not give up on you, and I'm gonna really try to help fix you. Or that was my mentality in this relationship. And he would basically, it's called breadcrumbing. It's okay, little signs here and there that they're gonna do better, and those little signs of hope I just grasped onto. And then another thing he did with me, whether it be intentionally or not intentionally, the thing about me here in Denver is I don't have any family here. I'm out here by myself. Everybody lives in Idaho and in California. And after my divorce, I lost everyone that I moved out here with, because I moved here with my ex's family. They completely cut me off. They stopped talking to me, it was weird because we didn't have any ill will. Me and my ex-husband, like, we're still great friends to this day. I adore that man. He is a great father, and it just didn't work out between us. I lost everybody. And when I started dating this guy, he introduced me to his friends, his family. They were my people too. So it was so hard for me to let go because I had no one else.
Dang, so you're like out there. So you liked being surrounded by like all those people, like you felt like included in.
Yes, like, absolutely. And I have such a big fucking heart that I love everybody. If I'm your friend, if you've been my friend for a week, I love you as if you've been my friend for a year. Like, and it was so difficult. And then on top of everything, my ex is very popular. He is a very popular man here. A lot of people know him. We would go to clubs and walk right in. Like, there'd be a line outside and we would walk right in and chill in VIP with like the main owner of the club and stuff like that. So I like that attention also. And it was hard to let go of that also. When we'd go places, we would see his friends and they would meet me and they would be like, oh, you're so sweet. And this is another thing that kind of got me into it too, was that they would tell me things like, you're so much nicer than his ex. You're so much prettier than his ex. Like, I'm glad you're with him, because they knew that I was a good person. And so that made it hard to have that kind of attention and people being like, oh, and me being me, I'm like, oh, new friends, yay.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was hard to let go. It was so hard to let go. And then his family loved me very much. And I love them to this day. Like, I don't have any quarrel with his family, and like his sisters here and there will send me messages and stuff like that. It was hard. It was hard because I love them very much. I loved everyone very much. Everyone involved, friend, family. It was just really hard.
Does his family know what he was doing to you?
They know. His sister knows, because towards the end of the relationship, because another thing too is I did break up with him multiple times. I did ask him to leave multiple times. I did block him, and I did try to break up with him multiple times. But towards the end, one of the last times I broke up with him, I went to her house, and this was after our Vegas, after we went to Vegas together, and he attacked me in Vegas. I got beat up in our hotel room, and I had a black eye, and I had rug burns on my arm. And she watched my dog while we went to Vegas. I went to go pick him up. We had gotten into an argument, and I just opened up to her, and she saw my black eyes, and I just told her, like, this is number 7, and I can't do this with your brother anymore. And she was very sympathetic, and she just apologized to me. And she told me, she's like, get away from him. Like, just for you and your son, get away from him. And she knows how he is. He actually has a prior history of this that I didn't really find out until afterwards, that he does this, or has done this to other people. And his mom, like, I would go visit when we were in a relationship. Like, I would go to their house and spend time with her, and she would feed me, and she could tell that we had just gotten into an argument, because he towards the mid, like, when his true colors showed, he was very mean to me. And she was very sympathetic, and she would sit there and like talk to me. She didn't speak English, but she spoke to me through her daughter, and we would have conversations that way. And she was very sympathetic towards me. Like, it's like they know how he is, but they can't control him. And I'm sure it's hard for them, because that's their brother, that's their son, and they love him very much, but they don't know what to do.
Did your, like, during this time, like, you're obviously getting emotionally abused, physically abused. Did your son ever catch on to it?
So my son, luckily he never saw me get hit. And most of the times my ex would control himself enough to not hit me in front of my son. The worst he did do was push me down, and my son ran into the room. But my son would hear him. Like, he wouldn't hear him when he would yell at me, because he would control himself enough so he wouldn't yell too much at me, but my son would hear him talking shit to me. And he knew that he made me sad, and he knew that mommy wasn't very happy. And yeah.
Did he ever tell you anything? Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, almost to like leave him?
He never did. My son was so young at the time that he didn't express himself that way to me. He never told me like, oh, you know, leave him, don't be with him or anything like that. But he didn't know I was sad, and if I was sad, he would come. Like if he was eating cookies, he would give me a cookie, or he'd give me a hug, or he'd give me a kiss and be like, "Mommy, don't be sad. Like, don't be sad." And he would like wipe. I tried my best not to cry in front of my son. I tried my damnedest not to cry in front of my son. And there's less than a handful of times that I actually let the tears fall, and he would just be sweet to me. And just, don't cry, Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he did, one thing he did say about my ex is he would be like, "Gosh," because my son would call my ex bro. And he'd, "Bro's mean," and then he'd walk off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most he would say to me.
And how old is he now?
He's 7.5. He's gonna be 8. So another thing, the other reason why my son didn't really see very much too, or experience very much of it either, is because I share custody.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of days where my son wasn't even with me, because I share 50-50 custody with his dad.
Okay.
But the times that he was with me and it did turn into a situation, that's what would happen.
Did he ever notice like your black eyes, your bruises, anything like that?
Honestly, I don't think so. And when I would go pick him up from his dad, I would either put on makeup or, you know, hide my face, my hair, because I have long hair. I would put it in my face so his dad couldn't see it. But as far as him seeing it, he never like told me like, "Oh, what happened?" or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's
that's
just
unfortunate. That's
little, like
probably started being normal for him too, which is a part of the problem, I think. And that was actually something I wanted to ask, because in those pictures, that's not something that's easily that looked like it would be easy to hide. Some of those where you look pretty like you get pretty fucked up. How are you living? How are you going to work with that big ass eye and the big ass gashes and shit?
I know. So black eyes, you can't cover them with makeup. Like you can try really hard, but you can still see them. Well, I work in dental, so I wear a mask all day, and I was able to cover most of them like that, so people couldn't really see the bruises. And as far as like the cuts and stuff on my arms, if they see them, I used to play soccer a lot. I stopped because of emotional reasons due to this situation and because of COVID. But at the time I was playing soccer, and if they would see a really big bruise on my arm or a scrape, I would just tell them it was soccer. And actually, there was a couple of times that they did see the black eyes and they were pointed out, and I would just tell them that it was soccer.
Do you feel like
So for most of the time I could get away with it because of the mask.
Did they ever ask if it was like something
like, is everything okay at home and shit like that?
Yes. So the doctors I worked for, no, they didn't ask. But my friends at work did, and I feel so fucking bad to this day for lying to them, because these are friends who are like my best friends now, and they would ask me like, "What happened?" Like, and they would even tell me like, "Don't lie to me." I'm like, "No, seriously, like I got hit in the face playing soccer. Like, no, don't worry." Because I felt like such a fucking failure. If I would have admitted it, it meant that I was a fucking failure, and I was letting this person do this to me, and I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed to admit it.
So what was the last straw where you finally decided to get out and to move on?
I finally, and it's actually a really crazy story, I got sick and tired. Like I said before, I tried to break up with him so many times, and we went to Vegas, and that situation, he beat me up so bad. I had a really bad black eye. He busted my lip. He broke my phone. When I went to Vegas, nobody could get in contact with me at EDC because he smashed my phone, and I lied to everybody and I said that I broke it. That was a huge beating I took, to the point that I have neck problems still because of it. And I've to go to a doctor for it. I don't anymore because it's gotten better, but I was taking medication for it. I do like yoga stretches and stuff for it. I still have this pain. And after we went to Vegas and we came back, he started acting worse. He started doing his own thing. He started treating me even less and less with respect. And I would tell him, like, okay, you don't want to be with me. Go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave. What I didn't know was that he was setting himself up to leave me. And this is what a narcissist does. And this is another part of being a narcissist, is what they do is they get ready to leave you for somebody else who's going to give them whatever they want next, whatever they need, whether it be money, I don't want to say power, but influence, anything like that. And I was so fed up with him just treating me like shit that one day I got my balls together, and I was like, fuck this, because he was going out and partying, and he hadn't come home. And I took the opportunity. I took all the anger I had. Because he actually laid his hands on me again after the Vegas we came back. He hit me again, and at this beating, the police were actually called. My neighbors called the police because he was hitting me so hard, and I was crying and screaming so loud. My neighbors called the police, and he hurt my neck again. And I remember this situation. He started crying out of anger and was hyperventilating and was like, I'm going to end up fucking killing you. I am going to kill you, Kasandra. I'm going to kill you. And that is something I will never forget. That is a situation I hear that in my head, like him just crying it wasn't even like he felt bad. It was crying because he was so angry, and he's like, I'm going to fucking kill you. And after that situation, that's what really set the wheels turning. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to do this? Because I knew I couldn't live this way anymore. And so he started doing his thing, partying and blah, blah, blah. I took the opportunity. I grabbed all his shit and I threw it outside and wrote him this long letter of goodbye. And the thing about my breakup with him is I didn't say anything like, fuck you, I hope you die, or anything like that. It was actually really sad. I just told him to get to a better place, not to do this to anybody else, and don't do this to somebody who loves you. And I blocked him completely. The only reason why he didn't come back like the other times he did, he was already seeing somebody else.
He was done with you.
He was done with me, and he was getting ready to get rid of me. That's what he was doing. And I just beat him to the punch. The reasons why he wasn't answering his phone, he was doing what he wanted, because he was already dating his ex actually. And rewind.
Hold on, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh no, you're
Rewind to the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how I said he got arrested? His ex arrested him for domestic abuse charges when she found out me and him were dating.
Oh, wow.
And he went back to her. She is a woman with a lot of influence, a lot of power, a lot of money. Throughout the relationship, I paid for everything. I paid for our trips. I paid for the things he broke. I paid for, which is also another reason why I stayed, because he would promise me to repay me. I have text messages where he's like, as soon as I get my car and start making money, I will start helping you and paying for everything I've done and paying and giving you the life you deserve, which is why I stayed. And I ended up finding out that he went back to that same person. And he was already getting ready to leave me.
What a piece of shit.
And that was the only reason why he didn't come back to me. Otherwise, if he didn't have somebody else lined up, he would have been at my door. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix everything, or, whatever his manipulation tactic would have been. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I'm going to go back a little bit, because I want to get like a whole timeline here. So you're back in Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. So you said this is probably one of the worst times that he's put his hands on you?
I think it was the first worst one. I would say all the beatings were pretty brutal. It got, but that was like a really big one because he destroyed the hotel room. The people next to us in the rooms besides us were hitting the walls because I was screaming so loud. I was trying to call, because I have a cousin who lives in Vegas. I was going to try to call her or the police because I was going to try to leave then. And he broke my phone. He literally looked at me, smiled, and like twisted my phone in half, and then commenced beating me more and was yelling things at me.
So
I was.
So my question is,
Sorry,
like, what set that one off? Because
oh my gosh,
yeah.
So another tactic he used with me, the tactic of, oh, you're not like my ex, you're not like my ex. He was talking shit to me. We were getting ready to go to a club and meet up his friends at a club. And he was just talking shit to me because I was taking so long to get ready. I'm a girl. I need some time to get ready. And he said something along the lines of, well, then fuck you. I'm going to go party with my friends and some bitches then. Something like that. And he left the hotel room. I got pissed. I was like, oh, hell no. Okay, you're going to go party with other people? Go ahead. Take your shit with you. And so I threw his thing, like a handful of his clothes outside of the hotel room. He had told me in the relationship, he told me before that his prior relationship, that his ex-girlfriend would throw his shit out and that he hated that. That was the trigger to him. Like, and he would tell me, don't ever fucking touch my things. Don't ever throw my things out. In the heat of the moment, I forgot that. And I threw a handful of his clothes out the door. When I went to go grab the things, I felt bad. I opened the door, was about to grab his clothes, and he was standing there already, and he punched me right in the face. I fell back, and that's when I scrambled to grab my phone. He twisted it, and then it started just going on me. And he told me, I told you never to fucking touch my clothes. And that's where I got my neck injury.
See, my thing is, like, I remember a while back ago, right? Like, back when I had my house over there on 2nd Street. So we were having a yard sale, and a car, like, we're putting everything away. A car pulled up out of nowhere, and then this dude just turns over and starts, like, beating the shit out of the girl. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I ran over there, like, to get this dude off, And my thing is, like, why would the people just be banging on the walls? Like, go and help.
They trying to get involved, try to help someone.
Please, like, if you're ever in that kind of situation where you're a bystander, please do something. If somebody would have, I wish, and I understand why people don't like to get involved. I understand completely. But I've had people tell me now that they know what was going on. They're like, oh, if I would have known that you were getting black eyes for that reason, I was going to call the police, but I didn't want to get involved. If you would have done that, it would have helped me to really see that this is not okay. If the police would have gotten involved, or if somebody would have gotten involved, like, it would have helped open my eyes. And I wished that those people that night, they would have come to the, like, actually come to the door, because it would have helped so much.
Yeah, because, see, when you were talking about earlier, like, people were banging on the wall, like, what is the banging going to do? Like, it's not going to do anything. Like, what they needed to do was actually go in and stop the guy, Even maybe just somebody else walking in, he would have just stopped, like. So,
I think that what they did do was complain to the front desk, because we ended up staying. It was my first EDC, and that was another reason why I toughed it out. Like, we had this whole vacation that, again, so I ended up this. I know it's stupid. People will be like, "Oh my god, why did she pay for it?" I paid for it. It was over $2,000. I'm like, fuck, this is $2,000 vacation. I'm just gonna tough it out and stay here. But every day that we were there, the hotel front desk, they would come into our room, and they told us the first time they did it, you can't stop us from coming in. We have to come in and do a security check. And they would walk in, like, pick up the phone, do something to it, and put it down. And in the moment, I thought that it was a security check to make sure people weren't overdosing or anything like that. Hindsight, looking back at it now, I think I know that it was to check on me and to check on us. And that's what they did.
Well, I'm glad they
at least it was something, yeah.
Yeah, because I was about to say they probably heard about that night, and then they started to come and check on you. So, I mean, that happened, right? Because you said as soon as you came back is also when he put hands on you again, and when he told you that he was going to kill you. What started that fight, that argument? Because I want people to get to know, like, it can be like every little things that.
So this is another thing too. That argument started because we just got back from Vegas. He drove all the way back, and he was sleeping. And while he was sleeping, his phone kept going off. And at this point in the relationship, there's already doubts. There's been situations where I'm suspecting he's talking to other girls. The video where I sent you where he destroyed my apartment was because I took his phone because I suspected he was talking to other girls. And this situation, he's sleeping on the couch, and I finally, I picked up the phone and I looked, and there was a picture of him and another girl, laying down. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I asked him, and I woke him up out of his sleep. I was like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Because another thing with the pictures, he had a haircut, a specific design, and he's the type of guy who used to get the designs in his hair. And it was the time he was with me. And I confronted him about it. And since I woke him up out of his sleep, he just went ham on me and started hitting me again. And he grabbed my hair and slammed me to the floor. And the whiplash from that is what hurt my neck. And I was trying to get away from him, and he wouldn't let me get away. My beatings from him consisted not from me trying to hit him back. I was always trying to get away. I was always trying to leave. I was always trying to get out of this situation. And when we would get into arguments, it was the same thing. He would never let me leave. He would never let me leave. He'd start talking shit to me. We'd start arguing. And I would tell him, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving. Let me go. I'm leaving. And he wouldn't let me leave. And in the relationship, it started that way. We would have our arguments, and he wouldn't let me leave until he told me the last word. And then it started getting physical. And he would physically refrain me from leaving, and in that he would start hitting me.
Dang. So after that is when you said that you completely threw his stuff out, and he already had another girl, obviously his ex. What did you start doing in order to start healing? You know what I mean? Because I know you weren't fine from one day to the other.
You're not. And with this type of a relationship with a narcissist, you are so brainwashed and so conditioned to think that it was your fault. Your self-esteem is so shot. I had lower self-esteem before I met him. He completely destroyed it. When he would emotionally abuse me, he would tell me things that nobody fucking is going to ever want you. You've had a kid, your body's destroyed. Everybody thinks you're a fucking joke. Nobody's going to be around you because you're too depressed, and stuff like that. He brainwashed me. And when I finally got him out, that was only the beginning, because I had put so much of myself into the relationship trying to heal him. I gave him so much love and so much of me. I no longer had an identity once he was gone. He was my life so much that once he was gone, I knew that I need to heal. And in my head, I was like, okay, man, this is good. He's gone. The abuse is over. But emotionally, there was so much turmoil, and he continued tormenting me in the sense of, so narcissists, when they get rid of you, not only will they get rid of you, they'll make sure that you are not good for the next person. So part of his abuse was getting me ready to be completely destroyed, so I can't be happy after him. He's going to be happy after me, but I'm not going to be happy after him. And he immediately started posting pictures of him and his ex or his girlfriend on these trips. He went to New York. He went to Orlando. He went to all these vacations knowing that he owed me money, and lived this. And it's my fault for looking. I'm not gonna lie. It's my fault for looking on the Facebooks and stuff like that. But he planted that to destroy me, so it would be so much harder for me to get back on my feet. And I just had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I cried every single day on the way to work. I would cry on my lunch break, and I would cry on the way home for months on end. I had no self-esteem. I all I could hear was the things he said in my head. And seeing him in his new relationship, even though I knew it was better for me, it was still like, well, what could I have done to have changed him? Did she change him? Maybe she changed him and there was something special in her that he didn't see in me. And for a long time, I struggled with that. But this was prior to me finding out what a narcissist was. What really set me free was finding out and getting into narcissism and the way that it works. That's what set me free. Prior to that, I just thought it was my fault, or maybe we could have done something better. Maybe I could have loved him even harder. Maybe if I had just been more patient, maybe if I made more money, he would have chosen me. But once I realized once I learned what was really going on, that's when I began to break out of that. That's when I began to understand that it was not me. I'm not disgusting. I am not ugly. I am not. And I just worked on myself, reminding myself and looking at all of the good things of myself that to overcome all of that, because it was tough. It is so hard after you leave the narcissist, and they compare it to a drug. It's like you're on drugs for a while, that you have the highs and the lows, and you get so used to it that when it's done, you have a withdrawal. And that's very true.
I don't think people realize like how it feels like being in the moment, and then afterwards you can't just get over it, because it was a relationship, it was somebody that you loved, and and then you start blaming yourself. You start blaming yourself, saying like, oh, it was me. Like, especially if he found somebody else right away, that can affect you in like various different types of ways. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, because there's always people going through a similar situation, and hopefully, one of these girls or guys is listening. What would you tell them to help them get, almost to show them that this is not normal? This is not like, these behaviors are not normal.
This is absolutely not normal. And it's not. Love doesn't hurt. Love does not disrespect. When you love somebody, it's pure. It's good. Love. This is not love. Like we're so in this mentality of, oh, stick by my man through the thick and thin. Relationships aren't perfect. We got to work on it. But no, when the person begins to disrespect and disregard your feelings completely, that's not okay. If you feel unsafe emotionally, physically with a person, it is not okay. People, men in general, everybody, after a certain age, and we read this all the time, a part of the brain stops developing. They are not going to change after that age. Nothing will change a person but themselves. You cannot love a person into changing. You need to love yourself first. You need to love yourself the most. Nobody's going to love you more than you love yourself. You can't depend on another person to fix you, to save you. Like, that's my huge thing with me now and I try to inspire other people, and when I talk to other women and stuff like that, like, you need to love yourself first. You are so beautiful. We all have our own individual things that make us so beautiful, and we need to see those things because nobody else is going to see them for us. And you don't deserve, no one in this planet deserves to be hurt. And especially by somebody that claims to love them. Like, you don't deserve it.
So what I would say to people is just a few things is, if you're in your type of situation, do the same things, like, mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody, because people want to help. Like, if say I would have worked with you, right? Like, we worked at the same mm-hmm. place, I would have been like, no, like, there's something going on. Like, what's going on? Don't be afraid to ask or actually, like, get involved. If you see someone getting abused, like, whether it be a guy or a girl, like, go and, like, get in the way. I'm not necessarily going, like, beat the other person up, but, like, go and try to help, try to, like,
get involved somehow.
Yeah, and so
please get involved, and please don't give up on your friends. If you have friends that are in shitty relationships, or whether they're abusive or not, don't. One thing that really, really helped me was my friend who never stopped listening to me and never stopped reminding me that of my worth and that this was not okay. And it's another thing I want to tell people. If you have a friend who is constantly crying to you over this dude, please don't stop listening to them, because you don't know what's actually going on behind closed doors. You don't know the situation, but that support that you give, just listening, even listening, helps so much. And if you know that there's an abusive situation, please do something about it. Please, please, because we, as the victim or abusee, whatever you want to call us, don't have the strength to let go. We don't have the strength to let go at the moment. And, you know, hopefully, eventually they will. Like, I had the strength to let go, but there are people who don't. And you see them for years and years in these shitty relationships, and they just don't let go.
I mean, there you guys have it. Like, she obviously went through this situation and is able, and still, like, because I saw you posting pictures, you look a lot better, you know what I mean? Like, you look happier, and
I don't know, I am night and day compared to, like, how I was before with that man and how I am now. Like, this has been, like, as painful as it was also a blessing, because it made me stop and evaluate myself. It made me stop and think to myself, okay, what led me to get into this situation? So in that, I evaluated my traumas, my past traumas, my childhood traumas. I began to look at my upbringing with my parents. I did grow up in a very unstable household. I did. And it took me to a place where I needed to evaluate that and how it affected me. And I needed to heal that. It also made me look straight at myself. Like, am I really disgusting? Am I really this ugly person? And I was like, no. And it led me on a path to where I love myself, and I come to embrace myself in a way like, oh my God, like, I love myself. You've seen my pictures. You guys seen my posts and stuff like that. It's night and day. And even in my life, I take life so much differently now. I love life so much more now. I enjoy life so much more. I have so much more. I laugh even more than before meeting this man. It's in the end, it truly has been a blessing in disguise, I guess you could say, because it has taught me so much more than anything in my life. Like, it has, I'm trying to think of the phrase. I can't think of it right now, but
no, but we get it. But I'm glad you feel that way. But if you're currently in that situation, you need to get out. Like, that's plain and simple. Like,
absolutely,
if you're getting abused,
it doesn't get better. I was that girl who thought, oh, he's gonna change. This is not my man. My man's not the typical abuser you would think. They don't change. It gets worse. It gets progressively worse.
So, like I mentioned before, I'm glad you were able to come on. That way, you could share your story. Hopefully, you know, it'll reach somebody that's going through a similar situation and help them get out. Because I know in the beginning you get kind of scared almost to tell your story, because you don't want to be judged. You don't want to be like, like, why didn't you just leave? Because you'll get that all the time. Mm-hmm. But
oh, absolutely,
the best thing you can do, and that you did, is you came on here, you talked about it. People are going to judge regardless, but you're going to get a lot of positive feedback for it. You know,
I hope so. Like, I know I will. And I know people, it's so easy for them to say, why did you stay? But just know that there's so much manipulation, brainwashing. There's so much that goes behind it. So, you know, be compassionate when you hear these stories and when you see these situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think you came out of this a lot stronger because, you know, just where I've known you since forever, growing up in the same neighborhood and everything, you were always right now you're even brighter than you were back then, because you were always a lot more shy. You were kind of, you know, you seem a lot happier than you did before him. It's almost like it took you that deep valley to come out and be this ray of sunshine that you are now. So I'm really happy to see that that's who you've grown into.
It really did. Losing myself in him helped me to really find myself. Like, it really did.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for Rod, actually, because, like, I know you guys go way back. How do you feel after knowing what she'd been through? Like, because I know you didn't know right away.
No, and I think that's another lesson to take from this is if you have a friend that you feel that you're close and you're always in. I mean, Sandy and I were really close for a while. Then we've always been in some contact, some communication here and there. But for a while there, you were kind of off the radar, and it makes sense now why. It was during those times. So if you've got a friend who you don't really know what they're up to, and you used to be pretty up to date on what was going on with them, check up on them, because it might be something like this.
Yeah.
It's like I
Please
feel
check
like
on
it's like a
them.
half guilt for me right now. I'm like, I never really hit you up. Like, hey, so what exactly is going on in your life now? Because it was, I mean, I think, I don't know if you probably agree. We were always in fairly good contact then for that while. I think I ever heard from you during those times. And then suddenly you're back on, and suddenly we're texting each other every now and then and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, she's back to life.
How did it?
I'm back.
How did it feel seeing those photos though? Like in
It
videos?
really pisses you off, because it's like I said, we grew up in the same neighborhood. I've known Sandy since she was a little kid. She was in kindergarten with Bruce, with my little brother, and I remember that little girl. And it's like, when you're in these smaller neighborhoods, especially small communities, even though you might not always see the person, you always kind of feel something, a little bit of a brotherhood. So it pisses you off. It's like they're doing this to someone you care about, someone that you know since a little kid. It's like it's like a sibling. Mm. And I don't have any sisters, but it's like if I saw someone like pictures of that on a sister or on a brother of mine or something, I feel that's the way it makes you feel. And like I said, it makes you feel a bit guilty. I'm like, man, I never fucking checked up on Sandy during those years, like during that time.
No, don't. Like, I understand, and like, don't feel guilty. Like, I don't want you to feel bad in that sense. Like,
it's just you hide it so well, and I think people do hide it so well. So I think it's also a bit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, check up on your friends, because you never know. You gotta have to be a little more heightened on your sensibilities. Like maybe something's going on. Why haven't I heard from whoever it is in so long?
Yeah, especially like this.
Yeah.
Like you never know what's going on. Like I said, like my sister would hide it too as well. You know what I mean? And then finally, when she started telling me more about it, anytime she needed me, like she would say, "Hey, like I need you to come over." Boom, I'm there. Dropped everything there. You don't know what's going on. To me, like I didn't like her ex at all, but I would talk to him because she liked him. But then as soon as she started talking about what was going on and like and I was there all the time. And like this situation, like when you told me about it, I'm like, wow, like you almost like want to do something about it, but you can't. Like you're like, what am I?
What the hell am I supposed to do? Yeah.
Or what am I supposed to say? Like, there's only so much you could say. Like I can only say sorry so much. Like, like I'm sorry you went through that, but it's.
yeah.
But I'm glad you were able to talk about it. Like I said, if you ever need someone to talk to, you obviously you have Rod, you have myself, like you have my number.
Yeah.
Give me a call. I know when we talked about it the first time, she started getting emotional over the phone as well. Don't apologize like for crying. Like it's you went through a traumatic experience. Like it's normal to have emotion, So, but I'm glad you're doing a lot better. You look a lot better.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And hopefully people gain something from this. And if you're that dude being that guy to that girl,
you check yourself. There's treatment. Go get fucking counseling or some shit.
Just know, if you are a guy that is doing this to a girl, what goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. And if you believe in the same God I do, he's watching you and you're going to have to answer. And I have my experience with this has absolutely been that. What goes around comes around. And just and be careful, because God counts every tear.
Exactly. And if your ex hears this, you're a piece of shit, dude.
Fuck that.
Like
dude.
you are a piece of shit.
Finally, somebody says it. Oh my gosh,
that,
thank
dude.
you. Because people over here I don't know what it is that they
love him. Huh?
Yes, they do.
Because he's gonna hear that you did a podcast about it. I hope he hears it. I hope you hear me. I hope you hear me calling you're a piece of shit. Like, fuck you for putting your hands on Kasandra. Like, if you got a problem with it, I'm an
He'll
idol.
hear it too, because I'm sure he keeps tabs on you still. So he'll find out.
And he's actually in his own little limbo now because of the girl that he cheated on me and left is apparently, I don't know, this is through the grapevine, so I might be completely wrong, but he is facing charges from her now and facing jail time from her. So
he fucking deserves it.
He deserves it, that and more.
But is there anything you want to tell the people listening before we go?
To the people going through it, you are stronger than you know. You are so much stronger than you know. And love yourself first. Love yourself the most, and be compassionate with yourself. Don't stop reaching out. Don't stop telling your story. To the people who know people going through it, don't stop listening. Please don't stop listening. Don't get annoyed. Don't be like, oh my God, here she comes crying again, because it helps us so much to talk about it and to hear from ourselves how wrong the situation is. To the people who've never been through it, please be compassionate. Please be understanding. This can be your mom. This can be your sister. This can be your cousin. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know how complex and how heartbreaking it is to be with this type of person, a narcissist. I would, suggest or advise everybody to go online and read about narcissistic personality disorders, because it is not your typical, oh, this guy's an asshole, he doesn't treat me good. There is so much manipulation behind it. There is so many mind games, brainwashing behind it, that it's more than you know. It's more than you know. And just, to you, thank you for being patient with me. Even though I'm I'm quote unquote over it, I'm still healing. I'm doing great, and I'm really proud of myself, how great I've done. But there are days where like last night, I just sat there and cried. I can't help it. It's still so heartbreaking, and I'm still so hurt. I'm still so hurt from it. And I have my moments where I just break down. So I appreciate your patience with me and me getting ready to do this with you, and for listening and helping me share my story. And yeah.
No, thank you, and I appreciate it. And I know a lot of people listening are going to appreciate it as well, because you're helping a lot of people.
Hope so.
Thank you again for coming on, and those listening, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
We'll see ya.
See you.
Thank you guys. Love you all.
Love you, Sandy.
Love you too, Rod.